What's up, guys? I am going to start doing my storytime videos again. I know that some of you probably watch my other ones, and I still have a lot more stories that I need to tell you guys. So, with that being said, today's storytime video is going to be about my broken bones. So, I've actually broken a few bones, which we'll get into right now without any further introduction. So, the first time that I ever actually broke a bone, well, first off, let me start with this. All of my broken bones have been from action sports. So, a lot of you guys might know or you might not know, I did skateboard and BMX, ride motocross. I did all that stuff as a kid. I did play normal sports too. Football was my main sport, as well as I lifted weights. But, the only time I ever actually broke a bone was from doing extreme sports, never from just a normal sport. So the first time I ever broke a bone, I was actually, believe it or not, only 5 years old. I was 5 years old when my parents got me my first dirt bike, which was a Honda CR50, 50cc motorcycle. It's a small motorcycle, like for little dudes. And so I got the Honda CR50 and I actually became a racer. Believe it or not, I did race motocross, and so I was racing motocross. I was pretty locked in with the bike. I knew exactly how to ride it. I had been riding it for a while at the point whenever I had actually broken my first bone. But I was at a racetrack actually called Texas Ski Ranch. So if you guys don't know, that's I don't know exactly what city it's in. It's been a really long time since I went there, since I was a kid. But they have a motocross track there where you can actually race. And I went there on this day on my Honda CR50, and I entered into a race. Now, this day I actually didn't even make it into the actual race because it was during practice whenever I got injured. So and this day, it's actually particularly muddy. I'm talking about like an absurd amount of rain and an absurd amount of mud. But if you know about motocross, they usually don't call the race off if it's muddy or rainy. They still just go on with the show. So that being said, it's during practice, warming up on the track, doing the heats. And during I don't remember if it was the first practice lap, whatever, but I was during the practice before the actual race. I hit one jump, and when I was I hit it a little bit too sideways, so it shifted my body weight. Well, actually, it wasn't that way. It was this way. It shifted my body weight to the left, and it was so muddy that day that my foot couldn't stay on the peg of my dirt bike. So my foot actually ended up slipping off the peg before anything hit the ground. So before my bike hit the ground, my foot had already fell off, and my foot hit the ground first, bringing all the weight of my body and the bike down onto my left leg. So right then and there, I knew something went crazy. I started crying immediately. I was only 5 years old, so I was crying my ass off. Obviously, my mom and my stepdad ran out there. They got me pulled off the track, and they start pulling off my boot, and I'm just screaming, it hurts, it hurts. So they already know something's up, and they end up taking me to the hospital. So I get to the hospital, and they get me laid down on a bed with a doctor, and the doctor says, well, we got to take his pants off so we can check him out. Pause. But they start pulling my pants off, and I start screaming, it hurts when they're pulling them off. Because if you don't know, some motocross pants are tight at the bottom, like they're cuffed kind of like joggers. And these were a pair like that. So it was tight on my leg at the bottom. And so the doctor suggested that they should actually just cut the pants off. But, for those of you that don't know, motocross gear is very expensive. So my mom said, no, we not going for that. We not going for that. So my mom just grabs my pants by the bottom and just rips it off me. Pause. But I start screaming, They already know something's up because of how much I'm in pain. Anyway, they end up doing an x-ray on my left leg, and I ended up actually breaking my tibia and my fibia. I don't know, one of those words has an L in it, but it was both of those bones in my left leg that were broken. And so at that point, they already knew what was up. I'm gonna have to get a cast. And so, believe it or not, the cast actually had to go from my foot all the way up to my thigh. I'm not joking when I say that, dude. It went from my foot, just toes exposed, all the way up to my thigh, dude. Which, it was unbelievable, bro. I couldn't move my leg at all. Like, I'm talking about at all. And I don't remember exactly how many months I had to be in the cast, but it was shitty, dude. I was in the cast for months, having to go to school in a wheelchair, dude, because they gave me crutches, but like I was so fat that it would hurt me to be on the crutches. Like I couldn't hold myself up. I couldn't hold myself up, and I couldn't move with the crutches because I was too fat, bro. And so I was having to go to school in a wheelchair, bus driver having to carry my fat ass up the bus steps, my mom having to carry my fat ass to the bathroom, all types of shit, bro. Shout out them, though, for that, for real, though. But, nah, that one was horrible. The day I finally got that cast off, I was so happy, and I did continue to ride motocross after that. So, we'll move on to the next broken bone. My next broken bone actually was my wrist. Now, it was my left leg, and now it was also my left wrist. I don't know what it is with my left side, but that shit fragile though, low key. Like, so this story begins with me. I don't remember exactly how old I was, but I was definitely in elementary school still. I was no older than 10 years old. I was between 5 and 10, somewhere in there. And this is right at the time when Heelys came out. Now, a lot of you guys, I'm sure, know what Heelys are, but just to explain for those that don't know what Heelys are, it's literally just shoes, and they're in the style of skateboarding shoes. And in the right where the ball of your heel is at in the shoe, there's a little spot where a wheel is replaceable in and out. So you would put a wheel in the back, and then you could you'd be kind of like roller skating, but just on your heels with one wheel in each foot. Now, I begged my mom, please, mom, get me some Heelys, get me some Heelys, get me some Heelys. And finally, my mom got me the Heelys, right? So I'm fairly new to Heelys. I've only rode them a few times. And this exact night starts out with my mom and my stepdad are fighting. They're beefing it out at the crib. The argument gets so heated that me and my mom actually leave the house. My mom's like, all right, we out of here. My mom goes and gets a hotel room for the night. So my mom and me are at the hotel, and I'm like, Mom, I'm trying to go ride my Heelys. Can we please go outside in the parking lot of the hotel and just let me practice on these things? She's like, okay, bet that. And so we go outside to the parking lot of the hotel, and my mom is just sitting there kicking it on, like in the car, or I don't remember what car she had at that time. I think it had a hatch, so she was kicking it in the back of the hatch while I'm just like heeling back and forward in front of it. Well, within about, I don't know within how long, but within an hour, my fat ass leans back too far on the Heelys. Keep in mind, I was not too experienced with them at this time. Falls backwards on the Heelys, and the weight of my obesity caused me to snap my wrist when I caught myself falling backwards. So I caught myself on my left wrist. The obesity caused a fracture in my left wrist. I start crying, I can't move my wrist, My mom takes me upstairs to the hotel, and she starts putting ice on it, all kinds of shit. Nah, that shit turning purple. I'm looking like I got the wrist of fucking Griswold. I'm looking like I got the wrist of Griswold from McDonald's. Keep in mind I'm fat, so that adds to it looking like Griswold, right? Swelling up big as hell, turning purple as hell, straight Griswold style, gang. And so my mom's like, yep, alright, I guess we're going to the freaking hospital. So she takes me, and I end up getting a cast on my wrist, dude. My left wrist casted up. Again, within 5 years, broke another bone, dude. And then my mom, At that time, you know, she, like I said, she was fighting with my stepdad. She calls him, tell him, hey gang, Blake fucking broke his wrist on his Heelys. I don't remember if we actually went home that night or if we just ended up staying at the hotel still, but yeah, they were beefing it out, and then I snapped my wrist. And with the wrist, I had to keep the cast on for a super long time, and I ended up still playing football though. Like they actually let me play football with the cast. Like I was in football my whole childhood, but that's beside the point. I'm just giving a little bit of context. I actually got to still play football with my cast. They said as long as I didn't hit anyone with it. If I ended up clubbing anyone with the cast, immediate disqualification from the game. But yeah, I ended up playing football still with it. Had it on for a long time, got it off, and now it's all good. But my wrist actually does hurt from time to time, like when I'm doing bench press. When I'm doing bench press or putting too much pressure on it, sometimes it will hurt a little bit, but nothing too crazy though. So moving on to the third and final break. This one, I was definitely around the age of 12 or 13. And this one, it was from a skateboarding accident, dude. So I used to skateboard around around the neighborhood with my friends. There was a skate park down the street from my house. We would skate there. Some of my friends had rails and ramps at their houses and stuff, so we'll just kick it, skate. Well, this time I was actually skating at my friend Adrian's house, it was all the way across my whole neighborhood. And we're kicking it there, we're skating. He has a ramp that's pretty much like a tabletop ramp. So like one side was a quarter pipe, which for those of you that aren't skateboarders, this ramp that I'm going towards right now is like a quarter pipe. Pretty much a half pipe, literally half of a half pipe. Just a ramp that goes up and down like that. It did have coping on it though, so it was a steep quarter on one side with coping on it, with a flat top in the middle, and then another quarter pipe on the other side, just like a tabletop, but with two actually steep quarters. So we're skating the quarter pipe. Mostly what I'm doing is just going up one side, like manualing over it and dropping back into the other side, just doing stuff mainly like that. But also sometimes I was going up it and then ollieing off the other side and gapping the other side of the quarter. So this particular time, I go up the ramp on one side of the quarter, land on the top, and I ollied off the top of the I ollied off the other side of the quarter pipe, similar to just like that. I was trying to go to flat, and when I landed flat though, my foot had come off the front of the skateboard, and I rolled my ankle incredibly hard, rolled it so bad. And I was like, oh my god. I tried to get up. I literally could not walk on that ankle. Put no pressure on it. I'm like, oh my god. Ain't no way. My mom's about to kick my ass. So I call my mom. And I'm like, Mom, I literally think I just broke my ankle at Adrian's house. And she's like, man, shut your fat ass up. I know you just don't want to skate home is what it is. Because like I said, it was like all the way across my whole neighborhood to get to Adrian's. It was like actually pretty far. And I'm like, no, dude, I swear, like my ankle is actually broken. I can't skate home. Please just come get me. So my mom ends up driving to Adrian's, and she's hot. She's like, because I was known for like skating somewhere and then not wanting to skate home and having my mom come get me. She's like, Blake, I know you're bullshit. Like I know you just don't want to skate home right now. And I'm like, no, dude, I swear. So I'm laying on the couch and like I'm acting like, well, not I'm acting like my shit's hurting bad and I can't get up. So I'm just sitting on the couch kicking it, right? And my mom goes and gets the ice pack, puts the ice pack on it, and then she's like, look, just kick it and like we'll see what's up. Like maybe it'll be better, but later. So I end up falling asleep on the couch with the ice on my ankle. We wake up the next morning, straight Griswold ankle. No lie, bro. Fat as fuck, purple as fuck. She's like, oh, gang, all right, we're going to the hospital. So we go to the hospital and I get an x-ray. Sure enough, my ankle's broken. My mom thought I was bullshit, and I really had it broken that time. Anyway, they ended up having to put a cast on me, but this time it wasn't all the way up to my thigh. It only went up to right under my knee. So pretty much your average lower like leg cast. And this time, dude, I had the cast on, and I couldn't play any sports or anything, but I was going to my dad's for the summer, and he had a 4-wheeler. And so like I was going to my dad's and I was still riding the 4-wheeler. And they were telling me to stay off my ankle, but I wouldn't listen, dude. I just kept riding 4-wheelers. I kept walking on the cast and shit instead of using my crutches. And they were telling me, dude, you're not going to get your cast off because you won't stay off your ankle. And sure enough, dude, I had to have that one on for like 6 months, 9 months. I don't know how long, but it was a very long time. Because they kept having to prolong how long I had to wear it. Because I wouldn't stay off of it. Walking on the cast, riding the 4-wheeler, they're like, dude, you're so fucking stupid. Just stay off that shit. And I would not listen. And then I would go in there knowing damn well I've been on that ankle the whole like time before I went to the doctor, thinking I'm about to get it off, and they'd be like, dude, no, you're not getting it off. They sent me out of there crying like so many times. I'll literally be crying because I want the cast off so bad. But yeah, eventually I did get it off, and my ankle sometimes still pops, but it's nothing crazy, you know, but still, that definitely did suck, dude. That was probably the worst one because I had to keep the cast on for so long. But yeah, that's pretty much all my broken bone stories. Like I've hurt myself other times, but no other time have I ever actually broken a bone. That was the only times I actually ever had to get a cast. Anyway, appreciate you guys watching. If you guys enjoy these story videos, please make sure to drop a like, drop a comment down below. Let me know if you guys have broken any bones yourself. I appreciate you guys watching the video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.